Hello and welcome to our Roundtable Discussion Group 2011. A panel of LGBT community members will discuss various topics. Thank you for spending some of your time with us. On with the show. Alrighty then. Hello, everybody. What day is today? April 16th, 2011, the day after Day of Silence. And you're listening to the Roundtable Discussion Group on queerpublicradio.com. My name is Tom. We also have with us Janie from Upper State New York. Janie, I thought that was so cool when your kids were in the background when that Ring Around the Rosie stuff started. Robin Sisko's also. Robin Sisko's also from New York. They're with us too. Hey, Robin Sisko.
Hey, Tom. How you doing? Hey, Janie.
Hey, Tom. Hey, Janie. Hello, everyone. How is everyone today?
On top of the world.
Yeah, right. Practically you are up there in upstate New York.
Truth.
Oh, goodness gracious. Hey, thanks y'all for being here today. I mean, this is cool. We love our roundtables. Today's topic, why don't you all tell us? We're going to let Robin Sisko start out. Either one of y'all want podium time in the front?
Sure. Well, today is different terminologies, LGBT terminologies, and I wanted to start out. We were playing with Google. We noticed that different people have been finding us through the Hanky code post that we put on our blog backinthegays.com, and we noticed that people have been finding us through the Hanky code post that we posted, and we noticed that it's people from different countries outside of the United States, a lot of third world countries, and also people from the Middle East and everything in between. And we were just wondering if people are actually resorting back to the Hanky code to sort of connect with their LGBT brothers and sisters. Because of course we know in other countries you can be arrested for being gay or lesbian or transgender, and I was just wondering if that's what they're doing. They're resorting back to our Hanky code that we used to use here to basically associate what each individual was into, whether it be bottom, top, or into S&M. Or different kinks. So I'm going to go ahead and read the post that we did. The title is Hanky Code 2011. And we wrote, we were playing around on Google with words that people had found, BITG, which is back in the gays, and noticed that our post for the Hanky Code has come up in many different translations. Seems a lot of people in third world countries and in between are resorting back to using the gay code of the streets, where the only way they can connect with the LGBT brothers and sisters are tagging each other with different bandanas.
Different color bandanas.
If this is the case, 35 years plus later, something that was created to cruise people of the same interests is now being used to come in contact with others of the same sexual orientation, while avoiding death, incarceration. Even though there is no hardcore, concrete evidence from our part, would be interesting to hear if this is what's going on. It would totally be interesting to see if this is what's going on, because it would just be just foul that people in 2011 are still going through such a hardcore struggle just to be themselves and connect with hopefully their partner, their soulmate. Are we avoiding people from, are we that much into avoiding people being themselves and stopping people from hopefully connecting with their soulmate and living happily ever after. I mean, it would just be interesting to hear. But the show is about different terminologies, and I think I'll start it with the Hanky code. If it's okay with everyone.
That's fine with me. I just have a just short comment on that first section. I think that many of us, I know I will, be looking at some. We can get live cams around the world on the internet. Telling. We're gonna have to be watching for them hankies now.
Sorry about that.
Sorry, that's AT&T.
But yeah, I mean, heck, we can get cams all over the world on the internet live. So I think Janie ought to start putting them on the cows up there. The Jersey, the Jersey cows with different color bandanas on their butt.
I know what that cow's into.
Yeah, right. We'll have to come up with a cow hanky code.
Well, would it be the cow's hanky code or the farmer's hanky code?
Ooh.
That's what the cows would say.
Oh, my goodness. I'm going to refrain because I got a story that goes right along with that, but I don't think it's suitable for on air at this point.
I've got a story to tell you too, but unfortunately too many people are involved, so I can't say it on the air either.
Well, maybe we'll get names and numbers after the show or something. So I'm sorry. Okay, Cisco, you were going to do the hanky code for us, right?
Oh yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt. I just got in a silly thing there.
Oh no, that's totally cool. But yeah, it would just be interesting. I guess I could check out the different cams around the world to see if people are actually doing that, because it seems that way from just how people were finding that hanky code post and just the countries that are actually reading it, and you can see from the time spent that people are actually reading each color. So
I think
yeah.
you might ought to take that information of those countries, put that in a post, and kind of just throw it out there for whoever wants to see this and read this. Please, check out different live webcams and let us know if you saw any bandanas on any of the passerbys. Kind of make it a little open, and kind of like open source software where everybody gets to add a little bit of everything. So if you could just put a post up and tell us the countries that we should go check out cams at, and we can report back by commenting to the article or something that, hey, we saw this guy wearing a blah 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 in his left pocket when he walked by the cam, and we were looking at in blah 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 city in blah 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 country, and I don't know, we'll just get people motivated to go out there, and you never know what might come back.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see.
Go over to the Middle Eastern countries, they have to, because it's just they'll behead you for just being queer. So you have to do something to hide it. As long as the government doesn't get the up on it, then don't know what each color means, then they can find themselves in trouble. But right now, it would be cool to find out if they are using that as their way of communicating with other LGBT community members.
All right, so we're going to start out with Black Hanky Code. It indicates S&M, the wearer interested in hardcore S&M play, especially whipping. So as you can tell, that's a rough hanky.
Now I gotta ask, because I've always all my life been a borderline prude. I used to be much worse than I am these days, but it's with age, I guess that kind of wears off. But when I think about that, I think about the where it's not really like. Rarely do they leave bruises and stuff, and rarely do they break the skin and stuff like that. That it's more playful whipping.
Yeah. it's more on each individual's, consent and respect level. I'm sure, people do communicate, what their limits are, and it's mutually agreed that, what their limits
Okay.
are.
Now that
Yeah.
makes sense.
You
That makes
pretty
sense.
much, and you can pretty much tell, if how rough they want it, or um, if that person communicates the right way. Usually, you can tell if they want it a little harder or more intense, and how much they can withstand.
Yeah, any of these are all mutual, agreed between the two, and
Well, should
individuals.
be at least.
Yeah,
Yeah, usually there's some trust involved. It's not like, you know, you pick someone up off the street and you go home with them and let them tie you up. That seems scary. You know?
It's funny, Tom. You used the word trust in New York City years ago at the original Eagle that was on 21st Street, the Eagle's Nest. They used to have a party, and it used to be called Trust, the Red Hanky Social, which is actually the next color in the Hanky code of colors, and that was for fisting people that were into it and people that were looking to get into it. So it's funny that you said trust, because that was the label for the party, Trust.
Wow.
Social.
yeah, yeah. That's why a lot of the times it's just a mutual, and a lot of the times it's nothing that's really even spoken. It's just something that you just feel out, and it's just something that you just, once again, trust.
Ooh. Okay.
And just to let you know, or our listeners know, that the left side, when you see a hanky in the left side pocket or on the left side of a person, it would mean that's the top,
Aggressive.
the aggressive person, and the right side would be the bottom, or the submissive person, and it would be on the right side, or worn affixed to the right side of their body.
You know, and that's one thing I noticed in the Hanky code, that I didn't, all the stuff I looked at, several different websites, they never once mentioned keys. I mean, it was kind of per se, that what side you wore your keys on in some cases would suggest whether you were, submissive or dominant.
Yeah, which we actually, I think, do mention it.
Oh, the one you found does mention it? I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
No. Actually, I think in our blog we mentioned it, actually, but because I remember also the time where where you placed your keys, it would just indicate that you were bottom or top.
Yeah, that was also easy in the bathhouse culture years ago, when they would put their key around their wrist or their ankle, their locker key. You could also tell whether they were a top or a bottom.
Janie, are you learning stuff?
I am. Very interesting.
I am. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. This is great. Loving it. Go ahead, Cisco.
Okay, the next color bandana is red, which we already touched on, which is Fister left pocket insertive partner, and the right pocket is the receptive partner. So the left pocket would be the top, aggressive, and the right would be the submissive, passive, bottom, fisty. So the next one is yellow, the color yellow.
Which, can you guess what that means?
Which is water sports. Left side would be to give, and
the right side would be to get.
To get. Once again, bottom would be the right side, and the left side would be the top. The next one is the gray bandana, gray handkerchief. Bondage play involving ropes. Once again, it's all on each individual consent. It's mutual for each individual. So bondage play involving ropes, handcuffs, chains, other restraints that limit the bottom's ability to move or touch himself
Or herself.
or herself. Because a lot of people do get off on restraining or not being able to touch themselves. That gets them off.
And there is a bondage club up here in New York that's straight or bi before like 3 o'clock in the morning, and then it turns gay at around 3 o'clock in the morning. So if you go in before that, it can be a mixed crowd. So there's bondage going on there. Women with high heels stepping on men's throats. Different things going on.
Yeah.
Not as much as what used to go on up here, but
It's just people being themselves and really enjoying what they enjoy behind closed doors, where people usually frown upon. They actually have a space here that's run by Mike and Susie, and people just get together and just be themselves and just be just enjoy themselves behind what they do behind closed doors. They do it in the space, and it's really nice because you get like-minded people into the same thing,
and they provide everything, condoms and all the other.
These are like private clubs, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of the times they use a lot of the stuff that we're talking about here, which is like the Hanky code and the different terminologies for different either sex acts or different groups and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty nice. So the next one is a white Hanky code, and it's for safer sex.
Now, years ago, I thought white men come. You could say that. Semen. But I don't know if that's changed within the recent years, but I think it may have. Because I think white used to represent that.
Yeah.
Bodily fluid.
One of the sites I looked at, I saw it said that these Hanky codes and coloration selection can vary due to geographical location.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what we ended it at too.
Really? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's on the location, definitely, and it all evolves into different things. You know how we like to change things up all the time.
Yeah, or add something really bizarre,
Yeah.
I want my own code. I'm going to make a quilt.
A little bit of everyone.
A little bit of all the hankies that apply. One for the left and one for the right. Boy, I'm going to tell you. I think that's what we would call a busy butt. I actually saw a picture like that. It wasn't a quilt. The guy had all these hankies. On one of the websites I went to when I was doing a little bit of research I did, showed this guy with like 4 or 5 hankies in both pockets, all different colors. And I was like, oh my goodness,
He's so busy.
Busy man.
Didn't like to talk much, I guess, Here it is, Bubba. If you don't know what that is, get out of my face. Put up or shut up.
And get out. Or get out.
Mm-hmm.
A light blue oral sex wearing it in the left back pocket or on the left side indicates you are looking to receive oral sex. Wearing it on the right back pocket or on the right side indicates you are looking to perform oral sex. So that's a light blue Hanky code. And the next one is the navy blue Hanky code. Wearing it in the left back pocket or on the left side means you are the giver. Top picture during anal intercourse. Wearing it on the right pocket or on the right side means you are the bottom, catcher, submissive. And that's the navy blue handkerchief bandana. The next one is the light pink. The light pink bandana refers to dildos.
Or rubber goods.
Thank you.
Rubber items. All of rubber goods. The next one has a little bit of too.
Yeah, the next one is charcoal. The color charcoal means latex and PVC fetishism. And that's charcoal bandana.
This next
PVC.
one here is for Tom.
Wait a minute. PVC. I have a feeling we're not talking about like water pipes.
Maybe.
What's PVC?
Well, probably vinyl.
Vinyl, yeah.
Probably wear, clothing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, like plastic made shirts that they wear and stuff like that. So other sports and stuff like that, I guess it can go.
Oh, and like that patent leather looking stuff?
Yeah, but it's plastic. Like,
I didn't realize that. Okay, for all these years, I probably, oh, look at that patent leather. Probably didn't.
Like Michelle Pfeiffer wore when she was playing Catwoman.
Yeah, exactly. You have to coat your whole, well, wherever you're wearing it, you have to powder your whole body in that section in order to slip your body into it. And I mean, once you take it off, all the water and sweat and stuff just pours right out of the rubber.
Oh, is that kind of like those suits the bicyclists wear?
Exactly, similar to that.
Those look
Where
nice.
the water, yeah. It's interesting though. It's a different feeling while wearing it.
God, I didn't realize you had to do talcum powder and all that.
Yeah. It doesn't breathe.
Huh.
So the next color, Hanky, is medium blue. This might interest you, Tom. The color medium blue is used for uniform fetish. Police uniforms or uniforms worn by other authority figures. So if you see somebody with a medium blue hanky, you know, it means they're looking for somebody of other uniforms or police uniforms or firefighters or something like that. The next color would be teal, which represents cock and ball torture, which is another part of fetish and S&M kind of, but it kind of represents that. So that's teal.
And depending on if you wear it on the left side
Or the right side.
would mean that either you want it done to you or you're actually going to be the one
Receiving.
or giving.
Well, on the right side is
Yeah, right side would be receiving, yeah.
giving is the left.
So the next one is khaki, the khaki color bandana, military sex, uniform fetish, or likes wearing military uniform during sex play. So I guess this one has multiple meanings where it's all on the individual if they want to have military sex or they have a uniform fetish where there's no actual sex act involved. It's just more of the being around.
Ask and tell.
There you go.
The next color is olive drab, which is also military, represents military. Next color after that would be Kelly green. If you wore it on your left side, it's a male prostitute. On the right side, it's for a John, or somebody looking for a prostitute.
So if it's on the right side, it would be basically a pimp, John.
Now, on the right side, it's a
Customer.
Pimp would wear it on the left side.
Yeah.
Next color is hunter green bandana. On the left side, it's a daddy looking for a boy.
18 or over.
18 or over, yes.
Thank you.
On the right side, it would be a boy looking for a daddy. So, which means, somebody of age, depending on what state you are in, as long as you're of age and you're older, then, hunter green would be the color you'd want to wear.
Hunter green. Okay, good. I didn't have to ask. I was going to say, boy, I need to be aware of that one.
That's hunter green. Do they even make half of these bandanas anymore? I mean, because a lot of the colors that we touch on, I haven't seen in so long.
I just see red, black, and blue.
Yeah, red, black, and blue, and we see them here in St.
Every
Louis.
once in a while, you see teal.
It's crazy, man, because I'm like colorblind, you know. So for me, a lot of these colors just kind of like blend, and I'm like, I'd have to, you know, is that hunter green that you're wearing in your right pocket? I guess.
Olive green.
Yeah, that's what they'd say, and I go, oh, I don't know what that one is. Thanks, see ya.
I'm looking for the hunter green.
Right, you got any friends that got hunter green? Oh my God. Yeah, I think we need a number code for us people that are color challenged. Even if they want to make it Roman numerals, I don't care. I can handle that. You know?
The next color in the code is brown, and brown stands for scat. So
that's for
deep fetish,
yeah.
People that I find that
Yeah,
attractive
into the whole wet and messy community.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one is orange. The next bandana is orange. Few limits. When worn on the left side, it means that you will top in any fetish.
Anytime, anywhere.
When orange is worn on the right side, it means you will bottom in any fetish.
Anytime, anywhere. Just looking, or anywhere, or it can mean also just looking, no play. So it's kind of...
It has multiple meanings, depending on the individual, I guess.
Yes, if you find, hopefully they're in the mood when you see that orange.
Yeah, hopefully they're in the mood.
Well, it sounds like that's a conversation starter.
Yeah.
The next one is Robin Egg Blue. Robin Egg Blue bandana means 69. Looking for 69. So it's a position thing. The next bandana color is Deep Aqua. Deep Aqua means having sex in water such as in a bathtub, shower, or swimming pool. So I guess that could go into the bathhouses.
What about the ocean? That don't count for the ocean.
This is true.
They don't have a special color for ocean, do they? Someone left that off the list.
See, now somebody has to call in, write in, and tell us if there's a color for the ocean.
That's it.
Yeah, right.
The next color is lime green. It means food play, eating food off of somebody's body, or on the right side, having the food eaten off your body. Actually, I don't know.
You ever tried that, Janie?
Why, yes, I have, actually.
Well, do tell.
Yeah, I mean, that was a quick answer.
Oh, I think that would be a boring story, unfortunately.
Oh.
Did it involve whipped cream at least?
What's that?
What kind of food products?
Did it involve whipped cream at least?
Yes, whipped cream, chocolate, strawberries.
That's Sunday, okay.
Those are some of my favorites.
Okay.
Well, I'm a loser. I can just attest to the whipped cream.
Yeah, the whipped cream is good. Special spots.
Yeah, what about you guys now?
Oh, us? Oh, we definitely, 17 years together, we definitely,
Pumpkin pie,
whipped cream, chocolates, strawberries,
French fries.
the list could go on.
We're talking buffet.
Frozen cucumbers.
Oh,
Nice.
It's not even a color. It's more like a piece of fabric. It's I don't even know if you call it fabric, but chemise. And I don't mean I don't mean a drag queen around the corner. No, but chemise, the motorcycle sex. It's sex involving a motorcycle as a prop or involving one or more bikers in a sex scene. It's chemise. Next color is mauve. People that have navel fetishes or belly button fetishes would wear mauve hanky. Dark pink is the next one, and that represents tit torture. People that are into tit torture. And left means you are giving, and right means you're receiving.
Man, I had a friend that when I used to work at the bar, one of the bartenders there used to get items delivered to the bar, and they were always sex toys and stuff, and poppers and everything else. But anyway, one time he got these tit clamps, and I opened it up, and I was looking at it, and it was on these chains, these two clamps, a clamp on either end, and the more you pulled on the chain, the tighter the clamp got. I was like, oh. Just thought I'd mention that. He was into that. This is the guy that told me, if someone doesn't bleed, you're not having real sex.
I remember actually someone saying that to me when I used to work at the Eagle. Yeah, if you weren't having if you weren't bleeding, you weren't having sex. And I just found that funny. So, let's see.
The next color bandana we have is magenta. It's if you have it on your left, you like to lick armpits. On the right, likes his armpits licked.
Yeah, that's magenta.
That's magenta.
The next bandana color is fuchsia. Fuchsia, girl. Left side wants to spank. Right side wants to be spanked. That's kind of a soft color to be spanking, don't you think?
Yeah, right?
You wouldn't think fuchsia for spanking at all.
No.
Well, except that's if they get a good spanking, that's the color of their behinds afterwards.
Yes, I didn't think about it that way, yeah. When I spank, I usually, their pants are usually on, so I never get to see the color, so.
Oh.
Yes. Just a little
I guess I've watched different videos. Because it's all about videos for me. I'm like I said, I'm borderline prude.
Next color is lavender, or bright lavender, which represents cross-dressing or cross-dresser. Purple. That's purple. That's a piercing.
Now wait a minute. They wear hankies in the back pocket. Well, I guess it still applies. But what?
Well,
what are the male?
Would wear that around her neck. I don't know.
I'm thinking you're gonna piss off the male.
When I was into cross-dressing, I always wore jeans out.
Really?
Jeans, women's jeans. Yeah. A lot of cross-dressers just don't like to wear dresses. So it would still work. Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Thanks for clarifying and clearing that up.
Well, even around the neck, even that sounds about right too. Because there was a few cross-dressers that would go to Spike and Eagle, and they would definitely wear the lavender handkerchief around their necks and stuff when they would wear their jeans and stuff. So, yeah, either or. The next bandana is coral. Left wants feet licked, and the right. So this is a foot fetish one. Left wants feet licked, and the right one wants to lick feet. So that's coral. The next color bandana is mustard. Mustard means size queen. So it's for all those people that are
seeking bigger size.
Exactly. So that's mustard.
Well, wait a minute.
So
wants is going to be wearing it on the right, and has is going to be wearing it on the left. Is that what that is?
I guess it could be all in the individual,
Yeah, I guess that's how it would be.
Yeah.
Left side would has, and
Yeah, the left pocket would be endowed, and the right pocket would be wanting endowed.
Yeah. I've never seen that one actually on in the bars. I've never seen mustard.
so that might be a regional
Yeah.
favorite.
I've seen yellow and eggshell blue and
Robin's egg blue.
yeah.
That is eggshell blue.
Yeah. I've seen a few others, but I've never seen mustard.
I can see the argument in the bar now. Queen, that's not mustard, that's yellow. Don't you know? God damn it, you got your shit screwed up.
Spicy brown.
I got all excited there for a minute, and now you tell me you thought it was yellow?
Do you have any Maple Pond?
Yeah, it could be. See how now, because I'm thinking from the colorblind angle here. I could really mess up if I didn't get my colors right. There got to be more people out there like that, So I guess it's best to double check. That's the rule of thumb here we're talking about. Don't assume they know what color that is.
There you go, communication. It's all about communication.
Yeah, I noticed that hanky in your pocket. What color is that? Pull out your little book. Oh, yeah. How you doing tonight?
We actually have one of those. That's funny that you say that. We actually have one of those.
It's on a little business card. I have to find it, actually.
Oh, really?
Got it at the bike stop in Philadelphia. These have little business cards on the side there, and you can pick it up and it had the basic colors. This is a little bit of a longer list that we're saying, but it had the basics on it.
Oh, I'm sure there's an app for that somewhere.
Okay.
Hey, there needs to be one.
I was going to say, there might be now. They might
So you see people sitting there at their tables with their iPhones out, looking for the app.
Right, putting it up to someone's ass and trying to compare it to the hanky.
Is that a yellow or a mustard?
Right. Maybe I need to adjust my brightness.
It's a mustard. Well, I mean, maybe that's why people are actually coming to the blog for the Hanky code post. Maybe because there isn't an app for Hanky code.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
iPhone.
Yeah, we do get a lot of iPhone people.
For the hanky code. I guess they're out in the bar, and it's usually late at night, so usually they're probably out at the bar and they're checking our site for the hanky code information.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
So the next one is gold. Left means menage a trois, couple or buds, looking for one or more for a three-way. Looking for one more for a three-way. Right means looking for two or more for a three-way. And that's gold. So gold means three-way. So that would be us. Gold.
Gold apricot.
The next one is apricot. Bandana color apricot. It would be a chud chaser.
And the next color is peach, but now, like Tom said, if you're having trouble seeing in the light or just seeing it at all, I only have one eye here my damn self. So I know in the dark of the bar, you're trying to pick out apricot and peach, and they all look alike at that point. But peach does stand for looking for a bear or a cub who's very interested in having sex with another bear or cub. So that would be the peach. Don't confuse that for the apricot. But although some apricot and peach, some apricots are peachy. Hairy chubbies, and you got a little bit of both.
Let me feel you, baby. See if you got fuzz. Then I'll know if it's peach or apricot.
what comes first. Okay, the next bandana is light yellow. Light yellow means spitting on the left side, wants to spit on partner during sex, or on the right hand wants to be spit upon during sex.
And once again, don't confuse light yellow for regular yellow because you'll either get spit on or pissed on.
Either way, it'll be messy.
Yeah.
The next bandana is beige. And it says anal or oral sex. So it would depend on which side. Of course, the left side for giving, top, or the right side, bottom, receiving, submissive. The next color of the bandanas is tan. Tan is cigar play. Left wants to smoke cigar while having sex, or the right hand side wants someone who smokes cigars while having sex. That's the tan bandana. The next bandana is dark red. Dark red is excuse me. Let me backtrack. The next bandana is rust. It's role play.
Specifically animal role play. So I guess if you're feeling like being in the puppy palace, or being a bad kitty, you would probably want to have the color rust.
Rust. It's animal role play. And the next one is dark red bandana, which is two-handed fisting, anal fisting. That's the dark red bandana. The next bandana is camouflage. Rugged outdoorsmen having sex outdoors in the country.
Janie, keep an eye out for that one.
They wear camouflage around here. Are you kidding? Like, a real tree is like all of my neighbors. Not that, I'm only like 20 miles from a military base.
You need to come up for a visit then. Do ask, do tell, please.
But there's no gay bars.
No, really?
Closest one is about 50 minutes away.
15 or 50?
50.
50.
Wow. Wow, I thought having to only walk like 6 blocks was long here. Jeez.
Yeah, right.
Well, that's how it was when I lived down in Syracuse, but not up here.
It takes us about 35 minutes, so it's about, I guess, the same.
Yeah.
With the walking and the subways and stuff. It takes us about 35 minutes. Well, we actually have a neighborhood bar here called the Toolbox, which is about 5 blocks from us. But we end up going across town to the Eagle because it's a little bit more our speed with the whole leather fetish.
Grr.
And then you get the little Chelsea boys mixed in, which is nice. You know, you just have a little bit of everyone. Unlike before, where it was just really, it was mostly leather.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness! You have to be careful how you word things. You have a little bit of everyone.
Yeah.
Here we go with the buffet again.
Yummy.
Oh goodness, the Eagle. You know, it's like I think a lot of towns have a leather bar named the Eagle.
And they all stemmed from the Jack Masia.
Yeah.
Jack Masia's Eagle's Nest Bar. It was at 21st and West Side Highway up here. It was the original, and it all started back in the early 70s. 73 to be exact.
72.
72, 73. So it was a restaurant before that for seafarers because the whole West Side was a shipping area, and then it turned over because it seems like in most areas gays seem to be seem to flock to the more seedier parts of the city. I know in Orlando, where the Parliament House was not one of the better areas of the city, but the gays came and the LGBT community came and supported it. Same thing was up here in New York. A lot of the, not now, but a lot of the areas used to be very seedy where the gay bars and stuff were located.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what happened in Castro too. The gays came in, and now I talked to a gentleman that was there during Harvey Milk's time and whatnot. Uncle Don had a website. I hadn't talked to him in many years, but he was there during the whole thing. He's living out in the suburbs now. He says, yeah, the gays came into that area, cleaned it up, got it nice, and then the commercial entities came in and took over and ran us out.
Mm-hmm. So it's happening to Christopher Street.
That's what's happening here. It's happening everywhere. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Bleecker Street, right off of Christopher Street, used to be all, mom and pop stores, neighborhood stores of artwork and fashion. And now it's everything from Brooks Brothers to Ralph Lauren, Tommy Hilfiger, all the major names, Juicy Couture, and they've basically taken all the flavor. It's become the little mini mall there.
Wow. So sad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it seems like it's going around just worldwide anymore. I mean, it's just that part of that whole corporate takeover.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, so the next one is
Gingham.
Gingham.
And it does not stand for Judy Garland's dress in The Wizard of Oz. It stands for urban outdoorsman having sex in an urban park. So I guess over in Central Park they're wearing a lot of gingham. Not that I've ever seen it, but another color that would be used for the Hanky code would be Argyle. Argyle would stand for a geek or nerd when worn on the left side, or interested in geeks or nerds when worn on the right side. So it's kind of almost like a hipsterish kind of bandana or color or design to wear. The next is a doily. Yes, an actual doily like your grandmother used to use, or the ones they put under the cakes. I would think probably be a cloth doily. It stands for tea room trade. Likes to have sex in public lavatories or bathrooms.
So that's for those closet cases that usually get married and... yeah.
Not all of them.
Not all of them. No, I'm not saying all. No.
But that's where you do see. Well, you do see a lot of doilies, whether they're wearing them or not. The next color would be probably like a metallic gold or like a lame gold. It would represent muscle men, sex, when worn on the left side, or right means looking for sex with a bodybuilder.
Or with someone with muscles.
Yeah.
That's another color that just seems out of place.
Metallic gold, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, lame gold. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, okay.
The next color is metallic silver, or like a lame silver. Left is a rock star, which kind of makes sense because like silver lame would kind of represent more fabrics that are used in rock star clothing, or a male groupie. The right side would be looking for sex with a rock star or with a male groupie.
I guess metallic gold would be more about going for the gold, kind of that first place. I don't know.
Well, muscles, yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
The next color or fabric description would be for a bandana-esque. For this hanky coat would be black leather bandana, and that would represent a general leather fetish. The next color is the black velvet bandana. Left means videotaping, likes to make videotapes of the act that they're doing while having sex, and right means they like to be videotaped. The next color would be, or fabric type would be gray flannel, not the cologne. Left side likes to have sex while wearing a suit and tie, the right side likes to have sex with someone who is wearing a suit and tie. Next color would be houndstooth. Likes to bite when worn on the left side and likes to be bitten when worn on the right. And once again, that's within the trust and or trust of the person. They would basically know what they're getting themselves into. Either that or they're going to come out with a big bite mark. So wear a houndstooth and think about it before you wear it. Next day. One of the final colors would be like a black and white checkerboard, kind of like a la Vans, that design. And that's looking for safe sex, frottage, mutual masturbation, or striptease in front of mirrors. So.
And of course, the color code may vary by region,
by country, by however people are even developing it these days.
That was just a basic rundown of the bandanas that we know.
Yeah, because that's even that. Yeah, there's a lot more. I mean,
yeah.
I saw some with stripes and horizontal stripes and vertical stripes in different color. Blah blah. I mean.
Yeah, that becomes more individual, really, because I mean that was later. So once again, it's all on region and all that stuff. So.
And fabric availability.
Fabric availability.
Janie.
Yes. Still writing. Hold on.
What are you writing it down, Janie?
Well, I'm trying.
No, go to our website. It's all there in black and white, or lavender and white.
Lavender and white. That's it.
Lavender and white. Yeah, right. Yes, just go over to backinthegaze.com.
Yeah, it's there. Just punch in Hanky code.
All right.
Yeah, or go to Google and punch in Hanky code if you want to find out what else there is out there. You'll find lots of. I mean, almost every website had something that was different about it. As far as the Hanky code.
Yeah, the colors and Hanky code that we gave out today is just a basis or a basic code. Like we said, it could change in regions or cities or countries. So you have to check your local gay center or gay leather bar, and they might have a list of the Hanky code, what it means in that region.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't have it with you, I'd say use it for a conversation starter. At first you ought to verify the color anyway.
Yeah.
I think you shouldn't make assumptions. I mean, because that's the way we are. I think that's human nature. If we think we see something that's what we want, we're going to go with the assumption that that's the color that we think it is. Even if it's just close, not because a lot of those colors are really close, especially in a dark bar. Like Rob said,
It's like beige and khaki. Don't they call khakis beige and beige? So
yeah,
I know khaki's a little greener.
And baby blue and
light blue,
robin blue or nest egg blue or whatever the hell.
Blue,
yeah, whatever that one. Yeah, those are a lot alike. And even the darker colors, like purple and dark blue, and can almost, in a dark atmosphere, can kind of blend.
Mm-hmm. Those parts are dark.
Yeah. And you never know if the person wearing it thinks it's not the color that it is. You might have it right. They might have it wrong. So, find out, and you could always say, what color hanky is that? And if you don't know, ask the bartender, if you're in that kind of bar, hey, what's the color code for the... Does anyone know?
Well, you guys should offer posters. We can hang it up behind the bar.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? Hanky code provided by backinthegaze.com.
Yep.
It might get you some free advertising. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you just did a printout thing, on your computer paper size, you could put it in the window or have it there next to the free magazines and rubbers.
Yeah.
Out of it.
Just don't put it as an insert inside any of the magazines. They really get upset about that.
Oh, yeah.
I did that once. I got in trouble. I said, hey, you're giving it away in my bar. If I want to put something in it, you want to keep giving it out here, okay, just don't do it again, all right? All right. Oh, let's see. So that's the basic hanky code. I found this thing called the Polari Gay Slang Language over on GayCityUSA.com. Gay City USA is all stuck together like it's one word. The entire URL is gaycityusa.com/dictionary.htm. The word dictionary has a capital D. I'm not sure if that matters or not. If it doesn't work with a little d, try the capital D. gaycityusa.com/dictionary.htm. So they got this thing called the Polari Gay Slang Language, which I may have heard of once, but didn't really research it. But this guy, and didn't y'all say the guy?
No, he did something a little below that. He did gay bonics.
Gay Bonics.
Okay.
One of the links that was on Gay.
That was on Hayden Net, I believe. Let me just.
Okay.
But it was on GayCityUSA.com.
Yeah, because those links he has, they're links to other websites. This one on Polari actually goes to a different chris-d.net/Polari. But, yeah, different website.
Yeah, that's why he's linked to the guy that we know, Joe Hayden.
Yeah, some of these he just linked to. But evidently this Polari language was a gay slang language, which has basically died out now. It was more common in the 60s when gays had more need of a private slang, kind of like their reasoning for the hanky code. So they researched this, and they got lots of really strange words in here that, and some of it seems like this was more used over in the UK, because they actually mentioned London in here in the when they're doing the descriptive about it. So I'm thinking that's why some of it didn't sound. It's a total slang. It almost reminds me of that. What do they call that over there? Hockney or?
Cockney, yeah.
Cockney, yeah.
Cockney or something. Yeah.
Which is prevalent in the East End of London.
Yeah, and I think that's what this kind of is, because they got words for shoes and everything.
Well, I do see one of the words is naff, and Simon Doonan, who's a creative person, he's actually the creative ambassador for Barney's New York. He uses the word naff a lot, N-A-F-F, which means bad, drab. He would say the windows are very naff this week. It does look like it has a lot of London or Cockney.
But a lot of it is I've heard and used the term basket.
Yeah.
For the bulge of male genitals that you can see through people's clothes, and of course bod for body. That's kind of generic, and butch for masculine. But
that flows over into the drag ball culture too, butch, because butch queen. Or even flows into lesbian, butch dyke. So that has so many different meanings, and even just in our own terminology.
Yep. Even now, what I thought was interesting in this list was the word camp, which of course usually means effeminate, but I don't think necessarily so. But what the cool part, I thought that the origin of the word was camp with a K, K-A-M-P, and it was actually an acronym that stood for known as male prostitute.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
But it just even goes back here in the city. Here we had ferry resorts in the 1880s, 1890s down in the lower Bowery, and at the ferry resorts, there was male prostitutes there, and the atmosphere was always very campy, and it was always spelled with a C, but you could translate over.
Yeah, because there was a lot of prostitutes.
It was a prostitute, basically a prostitute. You could go there and meet up with a prostitute, like Parisi's Hall or some of the other ferry resorts we had here in the city.
Huh. Interesting. I don't know. I've never thought of camp as to match up with the word effeminate, though. I mean, to me, it's more of a. It might be effeminate in a way that some do it, but I don't think it necessarily has to be.
No.
I always felt it like kitschy, very kitschy.
That's what I thought it was.
Like 50s camp, 1950s camp, 1940s camp. That it's like. I guess I associate it with not far off the drag queen beat because of the campiness that they give off.
Yeah. But sometimes I think the camp can border on being harmful. It's almost can border on bullying.
Yeah.
Well, that's just like any other word. We always, I guess it could mean so many different things. It's all in the individual. It's all in the region. Yeah, because I could see that aspect too, where it could be harmful and bullying. Where you're almost like talking down to someone.
Yeah. I mean, I remember sometimes when people would come into the bar, just had a haircut, and they're like, "Girlfriend, what Indian got a hold of you? That looks like shit." Or some drag queen, would have some outfit. Oh, what Goodwill did you get that from, honey? Really tacky stuff. They're kind of mean to each other.
Yeah, that's more of I guess a reading.
Yeah, reading. That's what in the drag or ball culture would be called reading.
Right. Yeah.
Which in that culture it stands for.
I guess it could be considered camp too.
It's reading is the art of insult. Finding a flaw in your opponent and verbally showcasing and exaggerating it. Mm-hmm. Also, deadly daggers, giving someone a piece of your mind.
Yeah.
So I guess that could be considered camp too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think sometimes that goodness gracious, you really, is the goal to make somebody cry? Come on,
Oh, you're right.
Come on. I think everyone needs to be pumped up a little. I just don't. Especially because it's like the bully mentality, because they seem to go towards the one that are probably most insecure about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's usually the older, established ones that are, the ones that are, that are picking on the new one on the block, or whatever.
Yeah.
Very cliquish.
Yeah.
There's bars like that where they're very cliquish, and if you don't fit in, you're kind of pushed out and felt to be made like you're not equal to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it goes back to that whole you're down here and I'm up here, and
Yeah.
We were talking about the other day, first place, second place, and third place.
Mm-hmm.
So just even being in our own community, we have our own ways of setting each other back. Come so far, but then we set each other back for some of the stupid things that we do.
Some of the other words I notice in this Polari thing here that are still with us is the word chicken for a young person, and a crimper for a hairdresser.
See, that's not really used on the East Coast.
No,
I mean I've heard of your hair being crimped, but I never heard of a crimper here.
Seldom have I ever heard it, but I have heard it before. Of course, I had a boyfriend that was a hairdresser, and I think I heard it in those circles.
That would be like what I do. In some circles, we're called trimmers, and I had a boss that didn't like that because she meant oral sex on a female.
Oh, really?
So I told her more than I need to know, but I didn't know that. But in my field, visual merchandising, an old-time term is to be called a trimmer.
Even the word drag is in here, in this Polari language thing. and fruit for a queen. These are words that are still a hoofer for a dancer. And I even heard that in the country and western terminology, the term hoofer for a dancer. Not even, nothing to do with gay at all there. Let's see, what else did they have in here that's still with us? I don't know. That's all that jumps out on me on this right now. Yeah, that's about it on that one. All the rest of the words that I saw in there were like not too well. Troll, of course, but they have a different meaning here. Troll, is they're saying, is to walk out. To me, I always thought trolling was the people that came in a bar and were just kind of like cruising the bar and looking at everybody.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was too.
Well, trade means the same too. Trade and sex.
But I've even heard people referred to as trade.
Yeah.
Like the person they had sex with the night before or whatever. That's his trade from last night, girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly. Or it could actually represent the private part of a male too, because I've heard it actually being used in that sense too.
Yeah.
Girl, he had a big trade. You should have seen.
Really?
So once again, I guess it's all on the individual region, Yeah. But this is great that we're doing this because it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I think it is. I think a lot of people don't realize that there's this, especially people that haven't spent time in the bars and stuff. It's a whole nother world in there when you get into the slang and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, that's why it's great that Janie picked this topic because it's on point, girl.
Yes, it is.
And on that same site I mentioned a while ago, I wanted to mention to everybody that there's one that says queer slang in the gay 90s. And, I mean, they even got an index for that. I'm not even going to start on that one.
Yeah, I have that one here, too. It's the site is called Gaymart, like Kmart, but just add a gay.
Oh, yeah, gaymart.com. But yeah,
I actually downloaded all that, and I was going through those words.
Mm-hmm.
They was all alphabetized. I was kind of, because there's a lot of them. It's kind of mixed up. It's gay and lesbian, and I think even some bi transgender. I think you could go.
Yeah, because they got a button up at the top where you can add. You can make suggestions for them to add to the list.
Yeah, one of the words that they had in there was Bungee Boy. Now, I don't know if it's called Bungee Boy somewhere else, but here in New York, I was introduced to that term as Banjee Boy, which is more like a straight acting or straight acting street kid, thug, usually Spanish or African American, would fit the bill for Banjee Boy, but they have it under there as Bungee Boy, and I think that's wrong.
Huh.
But maybe somewhere else it might be Bungee Boy.
Maybe. I mean, even just above that, I'm looking right now. They got the term blue balls there, and they're saying it's a term used to describe an extremely horny male, and I think that's partially correct. But I also think that usually, for me personally, the term means that someone got you all excited and brought you right to the point, but stopped.
Yeah. True. Very true.
That to me is the more accurate definition of blue balls. It's because it's actually painful.
I would tend to agree with you on that one.
As one who's been there too many times, I'll say, it's that's a painful thing. But yeah, there's a whole lot of them in here. But I'm wanting to get, so we can get some more stuff from Janie here. I had this one I wanted to head over to on the transgender terms. Janie, did you find the site for that one?
No, I didn't. Unfortunately, like I said, I don't have internet up here. I have to do everything on my phone, and
Oh,
I'm on the
that's
phone
right.
right now.
That's what, you can't surf and talk?
No, I can't.
How rude.
I know.
I know some of those phones are like that. You can't do some, all the things they show on TV.
Well, I can barely chew gum and walk at the same time. So. I'd be like, hanging up the phone on you every 5 minutes.
Oh, no, let's use the kiss method. Okay, here, so we're going over to gaycenter.org, and over here they have what they're calling a glossary of terms for trans basics. And of course, the first word is transgender. They say it is an umbrella term for people whose gender identity and or gender expression differs from the sex they were assigned at birth. Janie, what do you think about that comment or definition?
Putting you right on the spot now, aren't you?
Well, yeah,
I think it's a pretty good definition, though. I mean, seriously, it does kind of explain it all in a nutshell.
But I think it misses. It goes. Let me see here. Read a little further. What I think a lot of these things miss, from what I've, through my travels, is the fact that they confuse. Oh, what's the right terms I would use? Gender orientation and sexual orientation, I guess.
Correct. A lot of them do.
Yeah, and I think, they kind of figure everything goes together when it's two totally separate issues. And, trans people can be, either way, heterosexual,
right.
homosexual, bisexual, asexual, whatever, just like everybody else. And I think a lot of people make some assumptions there that, and this kind of first sentence there, that definition kind of sounds that way to me, that they're...
Right.
It
kind of doesn't take that into account.
Yeah, they always leave that distinction out, and I think that's a bad thing, because it lets people, it gives them the wrong impression, I think.
Right, and there's so much ignorance. I mean, by the term ignorance, I just mean not knowing, so I don't want anybody to be offended, or not knowing or not understanding. There's so much ignorance about transgender, I mean, in the gay community alone, not society even, that, people just need to be able to, to basically, I hate to say it this way, but talk to transgender people, walk up to them and ask them, what's going on, because I don't think any single term or any definition goes through and it explains exactly what a person's preferences are, or sexuality. I mean, at least from what I'm reading.
Right.
So it's all more on the individual.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense. It really makes sense.
Yeah, because too many people make too many assumptions on all that, and I never realized that distinction until I read that one time, and it's like the light was going off in my head,
Yeah. Well, when I lived down in Syracuse, I used to belong to an Eon, Expressing Our Nature down there. I hope I can give them a little plug. And we had a lot of... What's that?
What's the name of the group you belong to in Syracuse?
Eon, it's EON, Expressing Our Nature.
Expressing Our Nature, okay.
Cool.
And we had people who were into fetishes. We had male to female or female to male, guys or gals, who, were into same sex, were into opposite sex, were bisexual. I mean, inside the transsexual community, you have the whole gambit that you do inside the gay community, or your straight community. And the only difference with us is that we either wear women's clothing or men's clothing, or we want to be, we want to change our gender. And I think I hit on this last time we spoke, that to actually try to pigeonhole somebody with a term like that is just, it's kind of difficult to do because you can't define, a whole group of people just by one term.
Yeah, and that kind of goes along with what Mara said last time. I think that, it's between the doctor and the patient. There might not be any surgery at all.
Right.
And but if that doctor, declares that this person, is in the wrong body or whatever, boom, it's a done deal. So I thought that was interesting because everybody assumes too, that there has to be some kind of surgery or there has to be some kind of something, that has to be. When in reality, evidently, there has to be none of the above. If the doctor and the patient decide, that this is what they are, then that's the end of the story.
Right. You can go get the F stamp or the M stamp on your license with just a doctor's note most of the time. If you go through the motions, I've been approved for surgery, but like I said, I have 3 children, so I mean, where am I going to come up with the money for surgery when I have 3 other children that I'd honestly rather spend it on than myself? So when it comes right down to it, it's like, unless something amazing happens, I don't see me having the surgery anytime soon. But I still classify myself as female. It's I'm sorry, just based on what you were just saying, I just felt I had to throw that out there.
Yeah, I liked what you said last time. When you looked at yourself in the mirror, it wasn't right.
Yep.
That's the other word they have here is a term is gender nonconforming, a term for individuals whose gender expression is different from the societal expectations based on their assigned sex at birth. I think that's a great definition.
It really is.
Yes. It's very precise.
Yeah, but that's what But then what comes up to my mind is the asexuals. The ones that are born with 2 parts, and maybe some doctor makes the decision of what they're going to be, and oops, then when they get older, the doctor made a mistake.
Yeah.
And I think that's that movie. Basically, the story of that movie that I saw on Hulu called XXY.
Yeah.
And
I personally think they should leave it alone and wait for the person to get older and decide what they want to be.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Yeah, there's no rush.
Yeah, what's the rush?
Right. I mean, who are we to tell somebody they have to live a certain way? Especially if they have the option. If they're lucky enough to have the option from birth, let them decide when they get old enough.
Hell, in that movie, not only did the doctor choose the sex, they also started giving her. It's what they wanted him to be as a her, estrogen.
Right.
Went from a child. I mean, they're taking it her whole life because they wanted him to be a her. Anyway.
So unfair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because one of these days is going to come when parents are going to be able to say, or doctors are going to be able to say to prospective parents, well, what do you want? Blonde hair, left hand, right hand, blue eyes, gay, heterosexual. They're going to have a list. You're going to be putting check marks in boxes.
Oh, see, I don't think that's right either. So.
Me neither. I don't like that at all.
They're already doing it with gender, aren't they? Like where they can, if you want a boy or a girl, you can actually do it beforehand or something or other.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think they're matching up with the Y and X and all those genes, and it's becoming more test tube, Which I don't know. I think it works, but
I don't like it at all.
I just think you're messing with somebody's future life and how they're going to feel comfortable in their own skin.
Yeah, but then on the other side of that coin, think about China a minute. Where they're actually aborting when they find out it's not a male or whatever.
Yeah.
Because they're only allowed to have 2 kids or whatever.
That's not right either. No, but I think if you that's what you want. You should be able to have as many kids as you want. But
no, I don't think so.
Well, within reason. But I don't want to get people upset at me either. But That's, you know.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. Yeah, I think if people want to have a bunch of kids, that's fine, but if they can take care of them, if they got the
Exactly.
wherewithal. But I got to tell you about a little personal story real quick. What I consider my mother-in-law, the only woman that has ever called me son besides my mother. And I just talked to her. Her birthday was April 1st, and I just talked to her not too long ago. She got out of surgery for this is like her third time, or she had 13 children, and she has so many medical issues now because of that. And it's not a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think if we were to educate on certain things that we don't educate on, well, a lot of the things we don't educate in schools, from acceptance to bank accounts to even just being more common sense savvy with even having kids, because I mean, to a point, like what you just pointed out, I mean, to put a body through that is just, isn't that a slight kind of living torture?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I'm all for do what you want to do, definitely. But when it starts in involving, I guess, other people that have nothing to do with your decisions, then I think we should really look into things more and see the thought process behind a lot of the things that we do. And that goes with what you say, that, education plays a major part with a lot of the things that we do in society.
Right.
Education, education, education.
So the next term here on the list is genderqueer, which is a term used by some individuals who identify as between genders or as neither man nor woman.
I had to look that one up the other day, actually, for myself, because I wasn't familiar with that term.
I've seen people using it. Yeah, I often wonder until I saw this, I didn't know that either. I was like, what's that mean? They got
Right.
so many
Yep.
nowadays. The pansexual and the metrosexuals and oh my goodness, there's so many terms. I'm like, goodness, you need to have a class on this.
Yep. You you can't know them all because they're constantly making new ones too. You know.
Oh, of course, the transition we all know is altering one's
Yeah.
birth sex. Yeah. But interesting here, it says it's not a one-step procedure. It's a complete process that occurs over a long period of time. Yeah, I think people need to understand that.
I would agree
sure.
with that one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, most places I've heard a lot of them, they make, from what I've heard anyway, I thought lots of doctors make them live that as whatever gender they want to transition to for a year before they even will consider surgery.
Right. Yep. A lot of them you have to be on hormones already for at least a year. Some too. I think the doctor I was speaking with required 2 years.
Really? Wow.
Yep. Plus the 1 year living in the chosen gender.
I remember many
There's
years.
a lot of guidelines to protect the person, and I'm sure the doctors too.
I'll bet. But I remember many years ago, it was always I want to get a sex change, but they all had to go overseas. Couldn't even get it done in the States.
Yep, a lot of people go to Singapore. However, I was reading that the government in Singapore is actually trying to find a way to limit the amount of sex change operations or gender reassignment surgeries that go on over there. So you may find the price, people go over to Singapore because it's cheaper. And some people say because they really know what they're doing over there, but you may find the prices go up because they're not doing as many more for years. So.
Wow, I'm surprised to hear. I mean, of course, Singapore is not a democratic country, but I mean, it's against a lot of spit on the sidewalk over there, or chew gum. You can't even come into that country with a stick of gum. That's illegal to be in possession of chewing gum.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I went there. I went there once when I was over in Malaysia. I was living in Malaysia, and I had to get out after 90 days and then come back, because I didn't have a visa. I was on my passport. And I stayed in Singapore for 2 days, one night. And I saw this little thing on, not, what you can't do, what blah blah blah, little flyer thing. No bubble gum, no spitting, no, you know, quite stringent on that stuff. They can cane you for that, over there.
Oof.
Yeah.
I know some people would like that. I mean, good caning.
No, it's not a good caning. It's not going to make you smile. I know they caught some guy in England over there not too long ago, I think, and because he tagged a railroad car or something, spray painted it, and got caught by the police, and he had to get caned, which they hardly ever do to a foreigner. Yeah, bad deal there. Let's see. So then they go from transition to, of course, sex reassignment surgery, and they put SRS in parentheses, and that's the actual, of course, surgical alteration. Again, only one small part of the transition.
Right.
Let's see here. I like their last line on this one. Journalists should avoid overemphasizing the importance of SRS to the transition process.
Yeah. Again, I would agree with that.
Yeah, I was shocked.
I don't think it's not always the final step either. Oh, sorry, my phone just beeped. It's not always the final step in it either. I mean, you have to learn how to live with the new parts, and a lot of people can't. A lot of people can't adjust to that. I mean,
right.
They look forward to it all their lives, and then finally get the operation and realize that it doesn't change their life. It's not a huge, oh, my life's going to be so much better if I don't have, this thing between my legs. It doesn't always make everybody happy. And unfortunately there's a lot of suicides in the transgender community after surgery.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're experiencing right now with a friend of ours. So it's great that you make that point, because that's exactly what she's going through now. And
she felt like when she was, I guess cross-dressing or dressing in the feminine clothing, she felt when she had her penis, I think she felt like she got more opportunities, and now she's even feeling it.
And now that she actually made the transition over, she's not, I guess, not feeling what she felt before. Where
right.
She waited for so long to do the transition. Now that she's done the transition, it's like she's questioning it, and at this point, there's no questioning anything. At this point, be comfortable with your skin.
Right.
That's it. That's the most important part. Be comfortable. Don't question anything. Just be yourself, and at this point, enjoy life, because this is what you always wanted, and embrace it.
Yeah.
Which is
hard.
Which brings me to a question for Janie.
Sure.
I don't know. Maybe Robin Cisco know the answer. I don't. But and I want it on both sides, if possible. From male to female, or from regarding the surgery itself. I understand. That in both cases, going either direction, that you can still have some sensation, you can still have sex, but I don't know, from stuff I've read, it's not the same, or it's not as intense, or do you know anything about that?
Well, what I've come to realize is being on hormones, my orgasms, pardon the term, but have become more emotional than physical. So I don't get the the firecracker, the M80, whatever you want to call it, stick of dynamite going off at the end. It's more like a rolling up to it, and you kind of feel it more through your whole body.
Oh, so it's different just from the
just
hormones.
Just from the hormones. And I've talked to other transgendered who have the same experience. So it leads me to believe that for the most part that's the general rule, and I could be wrong, so please somebody correct me if I'm wrong. And I think it depends on the operation and the doctor afterwards that you use, because there's a couple different operations that they can do, and maybe that's for a different show. But one is an inversion, and then the other one is where they actually all they use of the penis is the nerves, and then they do skin grafts for the inside. So, like I said, it really depends on the surgeon, on the individual, and on the operation that they choose.
Yeah, okay, now that all makes sense, too, because, of course, the more expensive operation is going to be the one where you're going to get the most sensitivity still afterwards,
right,
probably.
And definitely the more experienced doctor, so you want to, make sure you don't have somebody right out of med school who this is maybe their fifth time.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
you want to talk to somebody who's actually done it quite a number of times and had some really good outcomes, and definitely talk to some of the individual patients. And most doctors will actually give you the number of patients that were happy that you can call and speak to them.
And I'm sure they're better now, but I know many. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm sure they're better now, but I know many years ago that a lot of people even died on their operating table.
Right. Yeah, so there's a lot of arteries down there.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have infection possibilities, too.
Yeah, a lot of things people don't realize, that there's a lot involved in all this. It's not just a doctor. Yeah.
Yep.
I know another thing that just from something that happened when I was younger, I remember my mother telling me we had a crossing guard in the area. She worked in a local department store, and one day the crossing guard's son came to my mother and asked or told her that he was becoming transgender, and how did she feel about it? And she was like, just stay the way you are. I mean, other than that, that's your decision. I support it as long as you stay as nice as the way you are now. There shouldn't be any reason. So I remember her at least educating me into the fact that part of the surgery you had to basically somewhat, I guess, see what kind of approval rating you were going to get, whether I guess if you cared or not. I guess just from a psychological standpoint, that you would go around and ask people or people that you know or know of, how would they feel, or would it make a difference to them to know you as a transgender,
or you were transitioning over,
or in the process of transitioning. But I guess for each person too, that's different, and I guess each doctor tells each person a different thing too.
Yeah, I would be sure.
That's why at some point in time, us as a society, we have to, it's great that we're talking about terminologies today and we're educating different people that say question certain terminologies that we have within our culture and within our community. But it's not something that we're promoting to live behind. You shouldn't live behind any of these terminologies or titles, because that's really what's separating us as a community. I can only speak within our community, and I definitely see it within our society in general, that a lot of these terminologies and classifications and different things that we have within our society that we use on a daily basis to identify with certain people or certain cultures, we have to stop living behind all that stuff and set all that stuff aside and realize that let people be themselves, and really don't worry about what other people are doing, as long as they're not hurting anyone, as long as they're happy. Put the energy towards yourself, because in the long run, if you make yourself a better person, then you will be able to contribute to our existence, to the purpose of us being here, which is learning from each other and not worrying about all those classifications and titles that we live behind. So moral to the story is stop living behind those titles and love each other and love yourself, and
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I'm rambling now.
Oh no. Do you realize how much further ahead we would be if people would stop discriminating? You know, if we'd stop fighting amongst ourselves, if we'd stop fighting, you know, with our own society, and vice versa, if our society would stop fighting with us, how much we could learn from each other, how much we could accomplish physically, mentally, emotionally. I mean, it's unfathomable.
Well, like someone mentioned, excuse me, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jane.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
Well, like someone tweeted about that the African American community, that the numbers as far as mental illness is high within that community. And if you look at that community for what it has gone through within, the years from slavery to a bunch of numerous different things that the community has gone through, you can see why the numbers are higher there. If you do that to a community, of course, certain numbers are going to reflect higher numbers within those communities. It's not really that. It's not any type of. It's right there in our face, basically. The numbers are high because of everything that community has gone through. It's the same thing with the transgender community, same thing with the gay community, same thing with any of these communities that are continuing the struggle to human rights and having what we should have as just people.
Mm-hmm. Any oppressed community is going to experience those things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I've had gay people that have been on the show with me and stuff and tell me, I just can't believe they're saying we have more, drug use and more mental health problems. And I said, they're right, but there's a reason. It's because we're oppressed.
Mm-hmm.
It's happened to every oppressed group. And, that, to me, that speaks volumes.
Yeah.
Because we've seen this, throughout history. We've seen what this does, and it's not a positive thing on society. This whole, it's just the division thing. Every time I hear the word division or clique or all this, I think about Hitler, and that was his whole ideal, was divide and conquer. And that's basically what's happening in society. That's what makes me wonder, being the quote-unquote conspiracy theorist that I am, if it's not all by design. They want to see all the infighting.
Mm-hmm. Conspiracy theory just really means truth. I mean, that's been pegged that, but really the truth is not a conspiracy theory, it's the truth.
Yeah. They peg. That's another. Yeah, they put it in that box so that everybody can automatically dismiss it.
Exactly. And no, it's definitely truth to everything that you say, to a lot of things that you say, and a lot of the things that are going on. And we have so many things right now that are helping the suppression and us trying to retaliate on everything that's going on around us, and of course technology and medication and our water, and it's kind of engulfing us, and it's just going to be interesting what's to come.
Oh boy, yeah.
Wow. People don't wake up.
On top of still what's going on in Japan.
Oh yeah, I just read this morning they're dumping a bunch of water into the ocean that they claim is only mildly radioactive.
Did you hear about they extended the area around the nuclear plant to 25? It was 12 miles around that they had evacuated, and now they extended it out to 25 miles. And in that 25 miles that they're evacuating, there was a 102 or 104-year-old man who, instead of leaving his home, opted to commit suicide. 102 years old, opted to end his life as not to leave his home that he had lived in for, I guess, I don't know how many years. So there's a lot more in this world that we have to concentrate on than just the hatred amongst ourselves, and this is
For sure. So we got about 10 minutes, whatever, left, and just in case anyone had anything that they didn't get to say that they want to say, Janie, anything over there?
Not really anything that stands out at me. No. It's been an interesting discussion today. I've learned a lot, and had a lot of fun. So I want to thank you guys.
Oh man, it's always really wonderful when we get together. I love it. I just feel like I'm, sitting in the living room. We're just drinking coffee, maybe some good old coffee cake there, to munch on. And Robin Cisco, last words.
Can you guys hear us? Because it's kind of coming in a little muffled on our end. So if you can hear us, we'll talk.
Yeah, we're hearing you just fine.
Okay.
I just wanted to say that this was a great topic, definitely on educating on the different terminologies that we have within our community. Just definitely remember to make sure to use these terminologies as that terminologies, and don't live behind them,
or use them against people.
Or use them against people to the point that you're hurting someone or hurting yourself, or living behind these terminologies to the point that you're not going to be open-minded enough to see that people are just being that, and people are just being comfortable with themselves, and it's not a choice. It's just people being comfortable with themselves. So just don't great show for terminology. Yeah.
And what I'd like to say is that this is just the tip of the iceberg of the terminology. The terminology can go on. You've got different classifications of the terminology, from Vogue, the dance Vogue, which of course was a more gay dance, and that has a whole terminology. There's a drag ball terminology, which that could probably be a whole show, which goes back to the Paris is Burning, and the I mean, you can hear, even if you watch the RuPaul show, you hear some of the terms. But like I said, we just hit the tip of the iceberg with the terms, and it could have probably been 6 shows as much terminology. And us queers, we're very creative, so there's always new terminology coming out too. So definitely want to say thank you for listening out there, and thank you for taking the time out of your day. Whether it be live right now, or we're picking it up on your podcast. Thank you for picking it up and supporting Tom and Queer Public Radio, because it's definitely worth it.
This is a special thing.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Special.
Awesomeness. At one point I wanted to make that I think it's important to put out during this show also, because we're getting the disclaimers and a little bit different light. Folks, there are people that wear these colored hankies that fall into the hanky code, that aren't gay, that aren't wearing that color hanky for that purpose, that just happen to use a hanky in their work, because they sweat a lot, or they want to be a gentleman and maybe have a hanky handy for a woman or whatever, and you might see it sticking out of their pocket. Usually they don't hang them out, but you never know. If they're construction workers, I see wearing hankies a lot, to wipe their forehead and stuff, so, don't make an assumption that's going to cause problems.
Use your judgment.
Exactly.
Yep, use your judgment, and I really do kind of push towards use it as a conversation starter.
Yeah, definitely.
I think, because people are always saying, well, how do I approach somebody? Well, if they're wearing a hanky, there's your open door.
You're in a gay bar, gay friendly establishment, then you can pretty much tell that the color will mean something, and if you don't know, maybe of course they should know, and they can fill you in on it.
Yep.
As a conversation starter.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think that's a good thing. But if you're walking around a construction site and you see some beefcake, in a construction hat that's all sweaty and dirty and just happens to have a mustard hanky hanging out of his back pocket, I wouldn't assume anything from that.
Doesn't mean it isn't, but it doesn't mean it is.
You might get yourself in trouble on that one.
Yeah.
Or might have the time of your life. I don't know. If you're a risk taker, I guess. And I guess it's what color hanky you're wearing. If you're wearing that hanky on the right-hand side where you like to get beat and stuff, that just might be right up your alley.
I would just, what color hanky is Power Tools?
That's the black and
Yeah, you got into the plastic and all that and the dildos, but you didn't say anything about the Kickstart models.
Right, the ones you need chainsaw gas for.
Kenny, this is for you. You need to come up with the right hanky for Power Tools.
Mm. Well, that's easy. Orange with a black trim. You got Black & Decker.
Oh, there you go. Goodness gracious. Now, just out of this show, someone out there is going to do an iPhone app for Hanky Code, and now there's going to be the orange and black trim for Black & Decker.
There you go.
God, Janie, you just made two people millionaires. At
I
least
wish it was me. Why can't I make myself a millionaire?
At least one, anyway. The Hanky Code's on there. Oh my goodness! And Grinder, if you're listening, when you add the Hanky Codes, add the part where they know where to get the closest free condoms.
Yeah, definitely.
That could be awesome. I think New York Health Department is the only one that actually has. They have an app out there for that in New York. I read about it. I reported on it a few weeks ago.
Yeah, where you can find the condoms.
Yeah, free condoms, the closest ones to you.
You can also call 311 here in New York City, the city information number, and they can also tell you. And also, actually, in the city here, Housing Works, HousingWorks.org, Housing Works thrift shops and bookstores here in the city always have a supply of condoms. So there's not an excuse if you're looking for condoms in New York City at least. And hopefully every city will get on board with that because they should be made available.
Yeah. If you can get free condoms, it's probably, you can probably check if it's available in your area. Probably your health department of your city will probably know where you can get them. That's a good place to check. Or, you can always just call gay bars. The closest gay bars to you, often gay bars will have them.
Your LGBT center is your local
Or your
center.
LGBT center. I know the center here in New York City also has a supply of the condoms.
San Francisco Center.
San Francisco Gay Center should, and so on. I would just call your local gay center.
Yeah, or even an HIV/AIDS center probably also.
Yeah, that too. Or even your doctor. Ask your doctor. Sometimes they have supplies of condoms that companies send them, so doesn't hurt.
Yeah, doesn't hurt. You got to have those, folks. So I guess that's about it. What are we going to talk about next week?
LGBT seniors?
Who do what, huh?
LGBT seniors?
LGBT seniors, huh?
Just throwing it out there. I know I will be there soon.
I think I'm already there. Depends on who you ask, I guess.
Well, I'm done aging, so you guys have fun, and let me know how it works out for you. I'm not going to get any older.
That works.
Uh-huh.
Just wiser.
Uh-huh.
That's sexy.
Let's see. Oh, well, I guess seniors would be all right. You know what? One of these times, though, I want to get you all to tell us more about New York. So,
we could do that next show. I
We
mean,
could do that
actually,
part. Oh wait, what?
we actually have a friend, Brigida, Poland, Brigida from Poland. She's actually on Twitter.
Lesbian from Poland.
Lesbian from Poland. She's actually coming to New York City next roundtable.
Maybe she might be on.
So maybe we
Is she a geriatric LGBT person?
no.
No.
Maybe you want to touch on a lesbian topic rather.
Maybe a lesbian topic, and maybe she might even want to be on with us.
Yeah.
She seems very outspoken, and she speaks English too. She teaches English in Poland. In Poland.
Awesome.
She's
Well,
awesome.
then we'll just leave it at that. One of the three is going to happen next time we have a round table, and you just have to tune in to find out. We're going to be obscure this week. And listeners, you can send in what you want us to talk about too. You know, all you got to do is go to queerpublicradio.com. There's a contact button up there, and just send me a message. And we'll definitely throw it out there for the roundtable for consideration for the group to decide. So, yeah. So it'll be 2 weeks. That's one thing. I got to change the soundbite. I noticed when I played the intro this time because it says 2 times a month. You know, because we've changed the way we're doing it now every other week. So, you know, last month I believe we had it 3 times. So it's entirely possible. I got to change the intro now.
This month is actually 3.
Yeah, this one's 3, I think.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's this month it's 3? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I get confused, you know, but I'm old, I'm allowed.
Yeah, 30th would be.
That's why I hang out with you young people that got it all together.
That's why we hang with you, because you got it all together.
I knew that was going to come back on me. Folks, don't forget to visit backinthegaze.com. Oh, my goodness. Tell your story. Everyone's got a story in them. Go over to backinthegaze.com, join up, and write your story down in there, you know, and it'll be there forever. The Internet doesn't forget people, you know, and it'll be a little piece of history right there on the Internet for anybody, anytime. And who knows, your little story might touch somebody in a way that can make a huge difference, maybe even save a life. You never know.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I think that's a good thing. Thank you, Janie. Thank you, Robin, Cisco. Y'all are awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you,
Janie. Thank you, Janie. Thank you, Tom. It was great. It's been great.
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, everybody else. You guys are great. You're always a blast to hang with and talk to throughout the week.
Yeah, y'all don't leave me out next time. Oh, man, I feel like the redheaded stepchild over here, man. We'll be talking to y'all. And, folks, remember, we're all one human family. Please try to love your brothers and sisters. There's supposed to be a sound clip playing, but it's thinking about it. There it goes.
I love you, and you, and you. Oh, and you too. And don't forget him. I love her, and him, and her, and him, and him, and her. I love you all.
Adios. Have a nice trip. Bon voyage. Farewell to thee.
That's all, folks.
We'll leave the light on for you.